Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. To each of you I haven't seen, wish you God's speed and a very fruitful and safe year for each of you. We're gonna ask our Rotarian speaker to lead us in the rotary race.
Unfortunately, there's one on the screen and there's one on my phone, so which one am I reading, Sir President?
Whatever you like. Take your choice.
We thank thee, O Lord, thy many blessings, as we meet today in fellowship and serve to our fellow man. Amen.
Thank you. We're gonna ask our illustrious past president, Dottie, to lead us in the rotary toast.
The loyal?
Loyal toast.
Just.
Okay.
King and Rotary Clubs, your Commonwealth. And Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The King and Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Thank you.
You just want to.
Denise.
Just let me know when you're ready. Anyhow, like this.
Yeah, we don't want anybody to come to a meeting, just tell them it's business meeting. Right. They ain't got come. Terrified.
Better? You want to see everybody
Disinterested.
I can't see them.
I could move it.
No, I'm not going up there. I'm just saying. They have it in position.
Oh, I didn't realize anyone was going to be there. Sorry.
Okay, so just before our president Darren comes up, right, we're doing things a bit unorthodox, it was a closed meeting, but I want us to perhaps just start with a bit of laughter. You don't really laugh at my jokes, laugh at me rather than.
Yes.
Still
At least we love you. That's the whole point.
That's some consolation there.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. That makes up for all the those. So, anyway, a wife got so mad at her husband, packed his bags and told him to get out. As he walked out the door, she yelled, "I hope you die a long, slow, painful death." He turned around to her and said, "So you want me to stay?"
Oh.
All right. My pleasure. You laughing at that one, eh? Good. All right. Mr. President.
Husband and wife, Judge.
Thank you very much. And indeed, I take this time to say a happy new year to all of you. Those of you who are here in person, those who are joining us via Zoom, it's good to see all of you. And I hope that all of you will have had a good Christmas. And the few days that have started off in the new year has been good for you thus far. As you would have shown in the circulation for today's meeting, this is a closed meeting, where we really discuss the affairs of our club. In terms of discussing the affairs, to have a look at what we've done so far for the year, and also a midterm review, to take your comments, your concerns to me and the executive team, and look at ways that we're going to strengthen the second half of this term, and how best we can be more impactful. One of the ways that we have been impactful, before I go through my presentation and take your comments, is really in regards to the Christmas Day feeling. I thought it was an outstanding job done by all of you, so you really ought to give yourselves a pat on the back, a round of applause for the outstanding job that was done. The claps are weak. Give yourselves a round of applause for an outstanding job that would have done with the Christmas feeling. And I'm thankful again to Sheila, who's been so kind to prepare for us a short presentation that captured the various sites. As you know, we've gone to 3 separate locations, and so those of us that were either at the Kwaku Street, setup, or those of us who were at the Bean and Brownstown setup didn't have the fortune to go to Fox Hill and vice versa. And so our acknowledgement as to what happened at those different sites was only by what has been shared in the photos you've seen so far. So I'm going to invite Sheila to come now with her presentation.
But I'm not doing a presentation, it's just a video.
Just a video.
I was going to say, I think we ought to thank the people who took photographs. All I did was put them together in a video.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Particularly wherever he's gone.
Good, Dwayne.
Yeah, no, Dwayne has done an outstanding job in capturing pictures, and I want to say to Dwayne in particular, for his commitment throughout the course of the term thus far, in being able to capture these moments, the meetings, and all of us that attend, so we can look back at them, and these are really going to be points for the archive to us to look at. So again, thank you very much, Past President Dwayne, for an outstanding job. Let's give Dwayne a wonderful.
She inspired you.
We did also prove that we can't sing. Several times when.
Okay, so then let's look at the video presentation.
That God will always open doors for you. And you will know that it's all about Christ, because He's the greatest gift that has been given to all of us. And so I celebrate with you, and I say thank you very, very much. Blessings to you, Doc.
Yeah.
And Merry Christmas to you from the Rotary of Nassau. Thank you.
We
I'd
on our
like
way.
to take this opportunity to bless you, your family, and your loved ones. And we hope that you have a safe and prosperous Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Glad tidings we bring to you and your King. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
That is all.
Well, it is joy unspeakable and full of glory, full of glory, full of glory. Well, it is joy unspeakable and full of glory. The Lord is come. Let earth receive a King. Let every heart prepare his room. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ was born. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse sleigh. Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas!
Outstanding, outstanding. Thank you very much for the photographs.
You missed it.
Huh? You missed it? Thank you, bye. But again, thank you all so much. I said to the team, saying, looking at the
That's it.
Christmas Day feeding, it was really moving time for me. Certainly a moving time for my children. And I suggested to the team that maybe perhaps the incoming president may want to have a look at that budget. May want to have a look at the donations. Because there was a government compound that we went into. I don't know how many houses were in there, but quite a few. And let's say we got door number 2. Okay, so you're starting at door number 1. So there was the anticipation that we had come to feed the entire complex.
So my.
But why didn't you?
Well, they had it. They had it. And there was a little boy that ran out to us for his package. And we didn't have it. And so it demonstrated to me how great the need was, how great the need is. Are we going to be able to feed everybody? But it is something that evidently that they look forward to. And so I know we can do it, but we got to find a way somehow as a club to be able to look at the monies that we have, to be able to, because those people, they're looking forward to it.
Jamie made a very good suggestion as well when we were there. You know, when we do some travel, sometimes we get these hotel toiletries and so forth.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I collect them.
So
And I have a lot of them that I don't make collect, but
No,
I have
I
enough of it. And she was suggesting maybe we could give out like toiletries, because some of the individuals, like the lady we saw who had a house fire, those little things could be priceless to, you know, what we may take for granted. Someone else may look at that as being something that they could use, like soap, you know, the little wrap, protected soap, the lotions and so forth. So I actually forgot because I would have bought some of them today, but you know, if anybody else in the club may have things like that, we can put them together and probably go back to the various communities and just hand them out, even if it's only 4 in a pot, it's still helpful.
No, I agree, I agree. Like I said, it was a moving time for me to see, and it is. I think it's something we have to look at as a club to see how we can increase the donations to receive, to be able to allow the reach to get a little further, because those people are to it, and there's a need for it. So I commend all of you for the effort made to be able to cause it to happen this year and successive years and years in the past. It's a really, really good initiative. Thank you all, RCN, for what we've been able to do. So thank you.
How many families did we need in the total? 30?
Yeah.
And the other thing that we were talking about as well, in the Fox Hill group was getting some little tiny, you know, little toys for some of the kids.
Yes, that's correct.
Because they were hanging around us, and we talked about it several times before, and never actually done anything with it.
No,
We didn't take the dog food with us.
I did.
I would always take dog food.
But the mom was feeding the dogs.
No, that's good. The benefit of us talking about it now, I think it gives President Bain some idea as to, and he would have been able to experience it, to say, look, this is a very important initiative. It's one the community looks forward to. So as a club, I think we really ought to apply our minds to saying what can we do to make it bigger and better? I'm not just talking in terms of photographs, but really, what can we do because the need is so great? When we went to that house story and saw those people that compound, the woman really said, you all start at door number 1, and the doors started to open. And I was like, boy.
Time to run.
No, literally, because we ain't got it. So, yeah.
After the end of December, start our appeal. Because if we all bring in some toys every week. You know, and especially, I'll tell you right now, toys are on sale at every place.
Yeah.
It's really hard to collect them now,
Right.
but they're cheaper,
You're right.
That's true.
you know?
Yeah.
I just bought them until necessary, and maybe we can start our appeal beginning of December, even to our members,
Right.
you know? Because that can make a big difference.
Yeah.
You know,
It does make a difference.
a point of interest, it wouldn't hurt if we were to buy like, 2 cases of oranges and apples and get some plastic bags and put 3 or 4 in a bag and just give it out.
Yeah.
You know, when I was a kid, that was a big thing. They come around and give you apples and oranges.
And so, because, you know, you can buy a case of orange, you get about 100 in a box. And, you know, when they're finished, you're finished, but, we same like what we do at the, when we have the, thing at the Stephen Dillon School.
Oh, yes.
President Darren?
Right. So, let me say past President John, I'll come to you, past President McKell.
All right, now, it may seem a ridiculous question, but I mean, I don't remember contributing anything to it this year. Now, where did the money come from? Was it from outside sponsors or did we, you know, is it?
Let me just jump right into it. We receive from donations. We received a $5,000 donation outside of the club for this. We received a $500 donation from inside the club. So we had a total of $5,500 for the Persons Rogers Home and for the Christmas Day feeding. And so that's where the money came from for it.
Okay, because you can always, you know, at a certain time say, no, you know, coming up, please give specifically.
Sure.
For
Thanks for that. Past President Michelle?
Good afternoon, Rotarians. My apologies for not being in person today. I'd just like to say that the Christmas Day feeding is one of my absolute favorite opportunities to serve, and I do so with a lot of pride, along with my sons. But I think I had mentioned it before, and I think while I think it's a wonderful idea, that meal probably serves that family once or twice, right? And I think we probably need to start looking at how do we serve either a little bit more extensively, or how do we serve that family more? And we could probably consider, in addition to the meal, grocery items, rice, corned beef, tuna, grits, things that can feed them for more than just the one day. So I'm just looking at how can we be a little bit more extensive than just the day.
Past President Michelle, I agree with you.
Yeah.
And even standing here right now, the thought is going through my mind as to what can we do for the remainder of the year. Let's say the remainder of the year, I'm talking our turn now, and then what can we do for past President Bain who's coming, President Bain who's coming in. Let me look at something real quick. And the short answer is that we need money. That's the short answer. I've asked Chantal to go to a snapshot. I think it's important for me to jump right into the finances of the club. And I think this would answer some of our questions in regards to how far our reach can be. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been a very supportive club thus far in terms of your finances. Most times, you reach out to you, you give. And so, we try not to, as uses will overtax you the members. But when we speak about taking the initiative beyond Christmas Day, past President Kell, the answer to how far we go really depends on how much money we have. If you look at the screen right now.
Which, no, hold on, I haven't put it up yet. This one?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me just pull it up so everybody can see.
If you look at the screen right now, we see two outstanding figures, or two prominent figures. One is the general account balance. Okay, I'll tell you. 14,000, in terms of the general account balance, 14,882.78. And then the community account balance as of the 3rd of January 2024, $20,000, 684.80. You can't see it, but if you were to look at those numbers, and then the bullet points that are under them, they would tell you in terms of, even though, let's say, for example, the general account balance has 14,000 on it, there are a number of outstanding invoices in respect to that balance. And even again, if you look at the community balance account, you again see that there are outstanding balances. Let's say, for example, that sum, that 20,000 includes a grant received for Cat Island, and then donations we received for the weather webinar, the instruments we pledged to put up. That's $7,000. So the short of it is, when we start to consider expanding any community initiative, we need money. And so if we are, and I think we are, what about the idea in terms of expanding our reach, whether it be the community Christmas Day feeding, going beyond Christmas Day, and or collection of. And the reality is we need more money. And the money we need will go beyond just in respect to the dues that we collect and or the fines. So as a club, yes, we reach out to different individuals for sponsorship, but we're going to have to make a decision to say, fine, what are we going to do, either individually and or collectively, to increase the monies that we have in our account balances to be able to attend to these initiatives. So it means that we now need to apply our minds to what we're going to do. I'm talking literally now, this is January to June, to say, what are we going to do to increase the balance? Because what I'm discovering is that you have an X amount of monies in the account, but there are, for example, different expenses that come up throughout the course of the term. And so maybe you have budgeted X for a particular thing, and something else comes up, you now find that you're spending money. So we need to be able to look at ways to create more revenue for us to be able to attend these community initiatives.
Okay, so my suggestion would be that, okay, we have a year to ask, so at what our focus is going to be. That's the two places that we attended were the places that we normally attend every year. Put a number to that. Okay, we want to increase it, but from 30 to how much? Okay, we want to now do 40%. But we now want to do food parcels. What do we want to put in those food parcels? Put a budget to it. Then you now put fundraisers in place, and also you now submit letters, because I must tell you now, the free economic program is a wide thing with being a part of another organization. It's now expanding out to other business places as well. So put your letters together and put it out there so people, organizations, corporations can also know what their budget for that year. So you can have some idea of what your budget is, what you need, what your budget is, and what you're giving towards. And your fundraisers, and then that's my suggestion.
No, I agree. I agree that this is now January. That's why I'm saying that as we're having this closed meeting, and one of the points we're discussing now is we want, I guess I can say that by those of you who are here in the room, and even by extension those online, there appears to be the general agreement that we wish to expand the Christmas Day feeding. Is that assumption correct?
Yes, and President Darren, I just want to mention one other point to your question. I had the privilege of serving with Kiwanis the next day, Boxing Day. And they had a tent set up on Market Street, and they served over 100 meals, right? And so when persons came, they got a plate of food, a piece of cake, and a beverage, right? I don't know how much it costs, but I think sometimes we're looking at things, we might be looking at things in isolation, or think that we have to come up with every idea on our own. People are doing things that we're talking about doing. And so we need to also be prepared to find out how they do that. How did they get sponsors? Did the same amount of food that we distributed, instead of giving it to one family, we may want to consider a similar thing. Or ask ourselves, are we spreading ourselves too thin by trying to serve 3 communities, right? Should we go back to the one community? Should we do 2? And should we just serve meals as opposed to serving an entire container? Because each of those containers that we serve probably could have fed about 5 or more families or persons, right? So my point is, yes, sponsorship, but also look at what others are doing and see how we could spread ourselves a little more without spreading ourselves too thin.
I agree. What I've been able to observe in my years so far is that there are people out there who are willing to sponsor us. And I agree with your point to say, look, this is now January. If we are now saying collectively that we want to expand the Christmas Day feeding, then it is correct. We have to get our letters to the various business organizations now so they can put this in our budget. And we now set definitive points in time as to when we want to do it. So if we're saying, and I'm going to come back to you on this point. If we are saying that we want to have, let's say, for example, an Easter feeding, I'm just using as an example. Then we write the business organizations along that line and say, we want your sponsorship for an Easter feeding and a Christmas feeding. And we know exactly what that budget is for those specific things. Or if we're saying, no, we do not want to have it Easter and Christmas, we're going to have one general feeding as opposed to the package feeding we have right now. I wish for us to make a connected decision on it and move with it very quickly so that when, I guess more specifically, when comes in the chair, that part of his program is already concretized, it's already solidified by reason of us having done it now. So I think it's necessary for us to populate a poll in the WhatsApp group, or you can say right now what your thoughts are so we can finalize the issues surrounding that and we can get it. Go ahead.
One of the things for a person who's familiar with persons coming down for sponsorship on a monthly basis. One of the most important things I think is timing and to be able to do it as soon as possible. Because what happens, for example, I have standing orders in terms of every year someone comes for sponsorship and we automatically say, yes, we approve. If you wait sometimes until the last minute or whatever, especially when we go into our fiscal year end, it's extremely difficult for me to say, yeah, let me give an extra X, Y, Z to a particular organization. So if you're planning, first of all, I think the most important thing is that we don't be too ambitious early. We want to see how this works. Say coming up, whether we decide we want to do it mid-year or at the end of the year, which one will be more significant in terms of impact. But I think now the most important thing we need to do is to try and garner sponsorship early. Don't wait until October, November to come to someone for December initiative. Even though it may work, still try to get as much as you can now. And if you are still short, like you were saying, put a budget together, see how much you think you will need in order to do these initiatives. And it's quite possible and practical for us to do it, but make sure that we do it. I think by June, we could have an idea of what we want to do for December, instead of waiting until November, October, or September to do it, because by that time, a lot of companies already have fulfilled their obligations in terms of their, budget.
What I'm saying is this. We can make a decision on whether we want to keep it singularly for Christmas or whether we want to spread it out at another holiday, or we want to have a different style of feeding is really the question on the floor. And so you may not be able to answer that right now. I'm going to give some further thought to it, but we need to make a decision on it rather quickly so that if we decide to go in a different direction, then we know exactly what budgets numbers we're looking at and who we're going to approach, etc., to try to get it finalized. So I'm saying to all of you, we don't have to make a decision today, but I'd like you to address your minds to it so that by the time the survey comes out in the group, we're all able to say exactly what our thoughts are on it, to be able to vote on it, to make a decision.
I'm just thinking that, we followed a pattern for the last several years of taking meals to some families. I'm thinking in order to spread it out, then it might now be time to change the strategy to say that one of those packages would have done 5 people, so that we give a smaller amount to more people. Okay. That's my feeling, that maybe this is the time to do that.
Keep in mind, when we, whatever we decide on, a lot of like, going back on what Michelle said, a lot of these various clubs do also do this type of work. For instance, Royal Club in Nassau East, they do what they call the Fox Hill Run once a month. Now, I don't know who the, she goes to, obviously their people, but we don't want to intrude on their ground. And the other thing is, Peter and I are thinking about having retrospect exhibition of Malcolm's works and to do part association with the club. I don't know how much money people raise, but hopefully we will raise some, but people seem to like something.
We'll have some other artists in there as
Have other
well.
artists as
We
well.
were thinking of calling it the art of giving, so that it's quite clear that funds are going, into the club for specific things.
Okay.
The thing I was gonna mention as well, many years ago now, I was helping out with a breakfast feeding on Kemp Road. We had a couple of tents up and they were cooking grits and sausage and things and, the information had gone out to schools, local schools and things, and the kids were coming. It was a lot of kids came, which was good, but adults as well. And we just were there for 2-3 hours. And we started at like 7 o'clock in the morning and went to so, and then there was that other feeding we did on James Street.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right in the back. We did. So I mean that we've done different things before. Perhaps we might want to have a look at, kind of slotting those kind of things back in.
Yeah, I know that in years gone by, had maybe a signature fundraiser that we used to be, I think like $30,000 every year, which was the golf, thing, yeah. Right, I know that it stopped it, I suppose, for any number, Cuba was pretty instrumental with that.
No, they stopped us.
The problem is getting the golf course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What I've been trying to get organised actually is doing a virtual golf tournament.
right.
Do you all know what a virtual golf tournament is? What happens is you can have people from all over the world participating. What they do is they play the holes in their local country and then send the results in. It's a kind of honour thing. It's done in within Rotary. But I was having problems with it because of getting all the international funds coming in. I've actually found a solution now. And Canoe, they said they'll work with us and help as a partial sponsor to get it going. We made $40,000 from the golf tournament. And at the lowest we ever got was 27. It was a lot of money. You're quite right, Jamal.
So
It
we
was
can,
our major investment.
go into establish and work on Sheila to get that back up and going. Then that was.
Well, I've been talking to the different golf courses, and trying to get them to let us in. They just don't have slots. There are only a certain number of slots they need for charity events, and they're all filled. Because obviously the guests are using the courses. We got messed up because when the golf course closed.
Yeah.
Perry sold our golf course.
Oh, gosh.
Speaking about fundraisers, we have a fundraiser slated for the 26th of February, 26th February. I hope by now all of you have seen the flyer, January, sorry. All of you have seen the flyer and have bought your tickets, that's true. So we're talking about trying to get some money. This is now the chance to put our money where our mouth is. And so the 26th January is going to be a fundraiser for our club. It's a wonderful initiative, and past President Chantel and the team for getting it started, getting it done. And so I look forward to the participation of all of you. Regrettably, I'm not going to be here because I traveled that week, but everybody else in that excuse why we can't buy tickets, Nikita. and be there.
I'm buying a ticket though.
No, I will buy a ticket. I will buy 2 tickets.
Everybody in that.
Thank you.
I'm aiming for that right now.
If those tickets, if I could get potential members to come along.
Sure, that's fine. I will buy 2 tickets, okay?
Hey, my partner is just coming.
No, sir. I already have your money counted.
Now, one of the things that's also happening on the 26th, and I'm gonna jump ahead of it, just in terms of dates. You know, the DG is coming in here. And he's coming to our club, particularly on the 16th, which is next week, Tuesday. Yeah. And so there is a small social for the 26th, Mr. DG, which is the very same day of our event. It is what it is.
You're not gonna be there.
I beg your pardon?
You're gonna.
No, I'm not going to be here on the 26th, but I'm saying we have our fundraiser on the 26th. And while the DG is here, there's a small reception that's going to be held at Crypto on the 26th as well. Okay? And so it is what it is, okay? We would have sent her the information.
Yeah, but we're not supposed to even have meetings.
I beg your pardon? I would not say that our date cannot be changed. It is something we're going to have to look at, but that's what it is right now.
Think you need to know that.
Go on too long to look.
Chantel, do you want me to check the following week?
But what about your art of giving? You want to do it temporary, you move that as well?
Well, we haven't finalized the date for that yet.
Okay,
We could look at the following week.
okay. Was that the first? The
I'll,
first of
I'll
February?
contact Lynn
Okay.
as soon as the meeting's finished
Okay.
and see if the retreat's available.
Okay, so what it means is this. Let's say, for example, let's say we were to change the date in respect to our event, the 2 things that happens. A, as the DG is coming to our club on the 16th, we can't have this. And to those of you online, we can't have this scattering. Okay? We've got to have a proper representation when the DG comes to our club. Okay, so we have 81 members. 81. So we're expecting.
Including Cat Island.
Huh?
We can't appeal 50?
I'm missing progress, I'm coming to that, but I'm saying that
Exactly.
with the DG coming to our meeting on the 16th. I'm saying if all of you that are here and those of you that are online, everybody here to have a decent and proper representation while he's here. And it means that once the function remains on the 26th, in terms of fair and social, again, expecting proper representation from, I'm thinking, proper representation from RCN, and of course, once a new date is confirmed, but if it's changed for the social, again, our obligation is to be there, okay? Thank you.
Sometimes
One second, please, one second. Go ahead, Peter.
I would recommend the Zoom meeting for that day, the day of the DG's visit. So that we can have more people in person. So I think and then the event. So I don't see anything wrong with moving, we could even to extend it, maybe make it with a Valentine's, sipping paint where I guess, Rotarians can invite their partners so we can make more money.
We will certainly, just after this, going to have a short focus on the social. But the emphasis goes on that for next week, the 16th. I expect a much greater attendance of RCN
You're gonna cancel.
in person. My vote is, I would have canceled them a long time ago.
Anyway.
Fuck, I wouldn't even cancel it, because that's the day when something happens that you need.
I gave you, but I think, I think if we've got, okay, that's not bad. All those in favor of being canceling zone next week, raise your hand. Okay, done. Zone cancel. Sorry, one. Which was it? Those of you that are on Zoom, I put the vote to the floor. that we cancel the Zoom for next week. I invite your comments so we can just quickly deal with this issue.
Darren, I think you will not, if you take a vote, and you don't consider those online, then those online don't exist. Right? And so you have to, and you also assuming that people who are online, but they could have been in the room, but just decided that they just ain't showing up, and that's not true. So don't assume that. And I think when the decision was made many years ago to have an online presence and to have a physical presence, it was to accommodate those persons who could not make it for various reasons, transportation, in another meeting, sick, etc., etc. Now, there are some persons who probably wouldn't come no matter what you did, right? And past President Dwayne and I always talk about it. There are persons who are committed to coming, and they do that. And there are others who probably will not make the effort no matter what you do. But I think to make a decision to cancel the online meeting because you feel that'll force members to show up, I think is the wrong decision.
Past President Hill, I hear you, like, I think
I agree.
your comments are valid. This is not a permanent cancellation of the meeting. This is a one-time cancellation, and whether or not it will force members to come in, maybe not. But I will say to you that if only one time we can, and get my words very carefully, make the effort. Will things happen? Maybe next week, and may cause one or two or three of us, or maybe a greater number, not to attend. But I'm saying to you and all other members of RCN that more specifically with the DG coming in, we make as much effort as possible to be in person. I accept things are going to happen. I do. But I think we can make that effort to be in here next week, and not just because the DG is coming in. As much effort can be made in each of them. Like I said at the beginning of the term, I don't expect everybody to be in meeting every week. I know it's just impossible. Things are going to happen. But I think in respect to next week in particular, and even going forward, we would like to have more persons in person. So I invite your vote, but my thought is yes, we cancel the Zoom for next week. Hopefully that will cause numbers to come in person. Sorry? I have a vote.
I didn't prepare a vote.
You don't have to do the vote? Okay. Let's start this again. Cancel, Chantal, do you do this thing on that?
No, I can ask.
I can deal with this right now. Online and in person, I mean, not the numbers go, Chantal.
Okay.
Those that agree to cancel Zoom next week, those in person, so you can raise your hand. Cancel Zoom next week.
Online, can you just click the emoji for raise hand, please? So that I can see?
I don't agree.
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 in person who agree. What do we have online?
We have 2 agree, 2 disagree. No one else seems to be voting. Or 3 disagree, 4 disagree. 4 disagree.
Exactly.
4 online disagree.
4 online disagree.
2 agree. Oh, 5 now, 6 online disagree. Yeah, so the ones online are disagreeing.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're talking on enough people, they got 15 online and nobody's saying anything.
No, they're raising the hand. I mean, when we put it in the receiver, they're raising the hand,
So-
yeah.
The governor is coming here.
To our club. So what happens?
Our club.
Yeah,
Right, so.
on the 16th,
There
yes.
will be no record of it.
Yeah,
Placed
people need to
on
send a bus to pick them up.
What's that?
I know.
Or,
the meeting itself, it will be recorded.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, it will.
Recorded.
Yes,
So
it will.
what happens in his coming is that at 12 o'clock, there's a board meeting. And then we start our regular meeting at 1 o'clock. He has 30 minutes in that meeting to bring his remarks to us as a club.
So it will still be recorded.
So we
Yeah.
record.
Based on social.
It is placed on social media, but my point is this, look, we have so many persons in this club, so many members.
Sorry, Darren, she's making, if we don't have the Zoom, we can't record it. That's what she's saying.
No, that is correct. So if there's no Zoom,
So there would be no record on a later date to pull up his remarks.
we
Social media.
we will have to find some other way to record the meeting. But I'm going back to the actual voting. We got how many online, Chantel?
This is two agree and one, two, three, 4, 5, 6,
club, it should not.
7 who disagree.
7 disagree online, and we have President Stephen, you were voting, so how many votes have agreed? So we got 2 online who agree.
Only 2 online agree.
And how many agree in the room?
What is this for?
You're voting to say whether we agree or disagree. So if you agree to cancel Zoom next week, raise your hand. So we got, I can't see it.
I agree.
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we got 9 who agree to cancel, 7 who did so there's no Zoom next week. All right. Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm just suggesting, because you're not talking, you're just talking to this room in the room right here now.
I don't know.
I mean, generally, that's all.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, one second, please, one second.
I'm saying we have about, I'm just using, we got the 15 people, 15 to 16 questions here.
Right.
If each one of us make a commitment to at least invite somebody to the meeting, we can have almost 30 persons to the meeting, all of us commit to be there. Each one of us invite at least 1 or 2 persons to the meeting. I think that can at least help us for next week to look at some increase.
And you're talking about guests.
No.
You may not remember. Guests need to be an invitation because they know they're supposed to come.
Yeah, we understand that, we understand that, doing. I respect that. But there are some people, one is not sometimes.
It's only a special invitation.
Yeah.
It
works.
In this vote.
Well, it works, and I understand the standard of where we should put a company high, but where it should be encouraged. I understand. I'm just saying for next week Tuesday, for next week Tuesday, I think we should do that. And why somebody didn't raise my hand with the vote, it still show how the voice our club are. And I don't wanna give an impression that this is what our club is, what they see on that day. Yes, we have online, and we still have people present. I think we just need to have a push to get people there. I wouldn't discount those persons for online. Because I don't know, I don't like the idea of why we doing it. That's what I'm saying. I don't like the concept of why we do it. If that's why we doing it, I don't think that's sufficient. That's all my view.
I appreciate it. I do.
I also want to add, if he's the governor, other clubs would also want to join in on that. So they have their own, no.
They can, they can join in our regular meeting. They can. They can. Yeah.
Okay, so there is a shift. No, you are correct. Our numbers can be increased. Plenty our numbers of physical persons in the room can be increased by the visitation of other Rotarians and or guests.
Yeah.
That is correct. However, there's also a schedule for the DGYCs here to visit all of the other clubs as well. So do I anticipate there may be other visiting Rotarians? Yes. And to Past President Stephen's point, yes, I take your point, citizen. We want to be able to show our club as it is. I agree with you. I think, however, that not just in terms of the DGs, but regular club attendance, we've been stressing this point that there has to be a greater, and I don't mean this in a bad way, a greater effort made by all of us for the in-person attendance. I'm trying to make a short record. Those things happen, yes, things will happen that will cause 1, 2, 3 members not to. But this is final comment on this one. Wait.
One observation of President Darren, that is that DG himself might have persons he want to tune in. So you might anticipate that we have, you might need to consider that as well. So we might not want to just, the motivation, I understand it, you know, but because of online, it's a thing of phenomenon now. So you might have to look at that.
One second, go ahead.
here, neither online, and you've taken a vote, you discounted the vote. You did not even give me an opportunity to vote, because I was not in person, neither was I online. So for that reason, I think it's only fitting, if you're gonna proceed with this, to have a vote through the full membership on it.
So, the word I hear you. And my little understanding of the way the things are finished by unanimity, majority. And so, if at the present time, talking whether it be in person and or online, if the majority vote taken is, we're not going to have zone.
But that's 20 out of 80.
Sure, I don't know what the circumstances are affecting the other 60, but I'm saying that if our process is, whatever decision we make by majority, and if the majority says this is what it's going to be, then that's what it is.
Oh, it's not the majority of the members, it's the majority present.
And at that particular moment,
I see.
it's the majority of the members that are present that says, listen, this is what we want to have done, that's what it is.
But Darren,
Okay? But
another
I think we
point
can have
too,
this point around.
but of the 80 people, remember, we still have 11 who are in Cat Island.
Yeah, I was
So-
gonna just.
Right, so
bring
if
that
they,
up.
so if they're not here in person, then they don't have the, because the DG is not going to visit them.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly, that's what we were just saying. Cat Island, you're gonna have to allow Cat Island to come in. Just send them the link and nobody else.
Okay. We don't have the time.
But the basic problem that everybody is ignoring.
Sorry.
The elephant
Go
in
ahead.
the room is that these are
Another
lovely
thing.
things to be in.
If I want to Zoom next week, I have to go to Cat Island.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think the drive here is shorter.
all right, very quickly, in terms of, Jimmy, I got a point. The decision,
No, so.
the decision has been made, of course, the decision has been made, there will be no zone,
Oh, okay.
okay?
And that is because.
Except for Cat
the
Island.
Article says it's in person, and the majority of the.
But we're going to say to you, I can quote a specific section that says, in respect to votes taken at a general meeting, that the vote has to go out to all of the membership. I can't say to this very moment, I have that article in front of me. However, if we're going to apply what, let's say, for example, the bylaws provides for, my thought is that the bylaws provide that in respect to decisions that we made in our club, our decisions are made by majority. And that is why it's
Majority present.
majority present, because the reality,
Majority present.
no, what I'm saying is this, do not quote me in respect to what the bylaw says in that regard, but I'm saying to you, we're having a discussion this afternoon in respect to a single issue. If we're going to say, listen, we cannot take a vote as a membership based upon those persons present, then the reality is, we will never make a decision.
We won't ever elect anybody.
So my thing is this, we've come to this meeting, we've made a decision as a club to say that we have agreed by majority, there will not be Zoom,
Present.
majority present, that's the vote we've taken.
Majority
Okay.
present.
And I've heard your comments, and they're very valid comments, specifically in regards to what Jamal has said in respect to the DG, whether or not he has persons online who may wish to tune into his address to us, whether we have persons on Cat Island who are able to tune in. Those are very valid comments. We'll have a look at it, but right now that's what it is. Okay? One moment, please.
Stop, come on, let's.
We have a buddy system. We also have contact with other areas. Why don't those present and those online who will come or who are not able to come, that they call and say, I will get try and get two of those done. And make it a person thing, so that you will get more people.
Yeah, I think your point of President Stevens' point, I will make an effort to reach out to members and make sure, not just in terms of next week, but to try to get more members to come in.
But I think everyone should contact their buddy and try.
Yeah,
to get it done. But I'm down. Oh, the pay for them, if it's too dark.
Yeah. All right.
It's a courtesy to the district elder.
Okay, so very quickly, time is gone. Wow, time is. There's no way I can get through all of this.
What's your problem?
You know that at the beginning of each year, there are criteria that we have to meet. And I really wanted to go through these points, but it's difficult to go through now, given there's 2 minutes left. This just pretty much outlines where we're standing as a club right now. And it's time consuming. So before I go through that, let me hear from each of you if you've got some concerns you want to tell me. Before, I'm not gonna get through that, unfortunately. But you may have some pressing concerns in your heart in the next 2 minutes we can take very quickly. Online, any questions, any concerns?
We got 2 minutes.
I know what's better.
What's that?
Yeah, I get drop it in the group. Yeah. Any pressing issues, concerns?
I noticed that the goals aren't up to date. I had a look this morning.
So are you talking about the service?
So, yeah,
Because you know the service is no longer there. They've moved it to another platform.
I was looking at what's there.
Right, so if you go to the other platform, you'll see all of our service. It's no longer being, you can no longer see
So
it
then-
that way.
They're not showing up in the overall goals now.
Not right now, no.
That's crazy.
You have to click on some Rotary Showcase or something and then it shows it.
I went through the whole thing.
Did you go into Rotary Showcase? I'll show it to you because we have them listed there.
Yeah, I know they've redone the website. That's why I was looking at it.
President Caesar?
Not to prolong it, I'm not sure, during our last and close meeting, the issue of getting membership, all that stuff, I think some things were put forth. The go for strategies, any update on what has happened?
The real talk that we had on the last closed meeting was pretty much coming back to what you said and Partners and Larry said in respect to the buddy system and us going ahead and reaching out to our buddies. So that was in respect to the existing membership. The thought was also in regards to the new members coming in as to what initiative we're going to introduce to get the business houses around this club to partner with us. We sent that something, I got a follow up on them. But the main thing, if I recall correctly, was, look, what are we doing in regards to our membership in respect to party system? I mean, I can say the past presidency. And I think all of us have said it one way or the other. Increased membership. No, you also made a point to say that when you were in your former life, how when the commission would have called you and give you that nudge, it was helpful to you. And I agree with you that as the president, yes, there are members I can and should call. I agree with you on that. But Rotary is a self-commitment. And it means that you have to make a commitment yourself, whether you're in or you're out. When I say in or out, I'm talking in terms of physically coming to a meeting, physically participating in social service events that have been called. And if you find that coming to in-person meeting cannot work for you for whatever reason, or your participation in service programs cannot happen for whatever, then it may be a time that you review whether or not you want in Rotary and or whether you want to be in this club.
Yeah.
And so that's not an indictment on anybody. It's just one of those things that you have to review. Those persons, so that's what it is. I don't think I can say it any other way.
I think one of the issues was that we were on a frantic increasing membership drive during COVID, when everything was on Zoom. A lot of the people that have joined this club, in the past, they would not have joined this club when they work and live way out west, because there's no way they could get to meetings. But we brought all the new members in without regard to that, so that when we went back to regular meetings, instead of doing everything on Zoom, it's almost impossible for several of our members to ever make it to a meeting. I'm amazed Dwayne gets it. I mean, but Dwayne, you can't make it every week because you're way out there.
It depends, but I kind of enjoy it.
No, you
I come out. Right, I make the effort because
Yeah, but a lot of people, I think, you know.
There's
they-
a lot
they
of things
might
that
not
are
be
involved in
able to
that too.
make it.
First of all, I could take lunch at 12 and come back at 3 if I want to. There are no people that can, and that's why I say the most important thing is that you have to have an ability to come between one and
Yes,
two.
you have to be able to manage.
If you can't come to a number, and then, for example, if I have staff who want to join Rotary, I know what it is, so I would let them come, I would let them leeway, like I've had people that I've actually sponsored for Rotary Club. I know that they're not coming 1 to 2, so if they leave at 12:30 and they come back at 3, I'm not gonna be on top of them. But the thing is, when you join a club and you give a commitment, you're supposed to try and honor that. And that's why I keep telling you all, it's not about, and I think Donnie could remember, I always say you do what you can with what you have. And we seem to be moving away from that. We're so numbers driven. I'd rather go in the battle with 10 solid people that I know will be there every day with me than to go in with 40 people and 35 of them run away.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to get that mindset. There's a standard that we should have in a club that we're not enforcing. Because there's some people, I saw them on saying happy birthday too. I've never seen them in my life in person.
Well,
There were some people that, I think they came in with the induction of, what's the lady name, Sabrina. And Sabrina, I remember, but 2 persons in there, and I come to every meeting except that one when I was off, it was COVID time. I've never seen that person again in my life, except once when they were ringing the bell, and I still didn't know who they were. That shouldn't be. Danny works to Odyssey. That's further away than I am. That's actually almost by my house. He comes, he makes an effort. If he could do it, and I could do it, and Jamie works in out west as well, what's the problem? And I'm saying, we don't expect, and I don't expect anyone to make it to every meeting, because obviously things come up. But if you're committed to something you truly want, you could, if you don't come to a meeting, you can come to the Christmas meeting. There are so many different, you could have gone to the bell ringing. There should not be a person in here that doesn't have at least 80% attendance in some way, shape or form. You could do makeup for line. When I don't go to a meeting here, I go out and wake up on Saturday at 8 o'clock. There's a Zoom meeting for some Caribbean thing. I go and I listen to them if I can't make a meeting. When I travel in, as you know, I go and I go to Zoom. I mean, come on, we could do better than this as a club. You say 81 members? 81? Come on, Darren. That's embarrassing.
I agree.
Yeah, that should not be happening, and let's be real. Like I said, I understand what Raquel is saying in terms of some people don't have the ability to come out and physically be here. I 100% agree with that. She's a prime example. When she can be here, she's here. When she can't, she's on Zoom. But there's some people, they can be here. I spoke to one of our Rotarians the other day. Oh, I'm gonna try to come out, man. I have never seen them in 2 years. In 2 years in this club, they've never actually been in this building for 2 years. And I spoke to them, they said, yeah, come on. Why are they, I mean, why are some people may have tenure because they've been in there for years and they may not be able to physically come out anymore. Or some other situation, but there's some people who just started and getting away with that. If I have staff on my job who missing work every 3 weeks, they all sick. It can be a problem. So why isn't it the same for a club, especially a club? Now I understand that you don't have to, this is a voluntary thing. But it makes it even worse because you came into it with the idea of giving back, service above self. What example is that to the rest of the people that you're supposed to be serving? Some of the persons that I see who came into Rotary, I wouldn't do business with them anymore because I see how they are inside the Rotary Club. That shouldn't be. Your light should always shine as a Rotarian. And don't just put this pin on and find people because they don't have it. Rotary should be in your heart. You shouldn't have to tell people that the DG is coming and giving me. You should be wanting to come out. So let's be real. Y'all need to. Well, I'm not on the board. Your board members, I would only suggest you need to start looking through your list of 81 and start reading out those who have been inactive for over 2-3 months. And I can guarantee it's plenty.
Yeah, and if they say they can't make it to a meeting, ask your flight to refer them to a club where they can get to the meetings.
Just a final suggestion, this might be drastic, one of the things I think we do, like, after pushing after 4 meetings or a certain X amount of meetings that they try to get them in the club. I think we can look at extending that time of potential members, and see, because I can tell you, if you do like, I'm saying 3 to 4, for a meeting, let me say like 2 months or 3 months. Let me see how consistent this place is. You can determine. Then another point, just a final point, we have to look at the type of people we are trying to attract to Rotary. Because some places we are gaining and they're not positioned on their job to say get time off and move like that. We gotta try to target more places who would managerial positions, who could make that call to say, I go out for an hour. No, because if you get somebody who is just working there, they got a clock, put in the clock, 1 or 2. That's fine. And there you make that. So I think maybe going forward, these 2 days we can consider. The other one might be a little stretched, but I just think we should give people more time to better than what being hungry. Because sometimes we do little X, Y, then they come in, get it out, and then you don't see them no more, right? No more.
One thing that we're forgetting is that one of Rotary International's conditions for being a Rotarian is that you can manage your own time. If you cannot manage your own time, you've got a problem. You shouldn't be in a club that you can't get to. You should be, in a club that you can, where you can go and manage your own time.
To finalize that point, one of the things that Keno always stresses is and he brought up to us this week and said, look, as we try to solicit new members and to past President Stevens one, let's look at persons either at our level or higher. Because if at your level, you have the ability to manage your time to attend, then the person that you're bringing in will either be at your level who has the same ability or higher to make a decision. And in respect to new members, again, the current criteria set out is look, attend the 3 meetings, service event, and then we make a decision. So hence, those very same points you brought up, Stephen, is why you find that we can't get the commitment from prospective members because they're either missing the consecutive attendance at the meeting or they aren't attending the service events, so therefore we're not getting them. Okay, it's 2 o'clock.
Is there any way that we can check who actually has never been to an in-person meeting? Or the problem is, it was down in attendance.
Yeah, no, we can.
I think we need to start looking at that. Sorry.
All right.
Darryl, so you want to wrap it up.
All right. This has been helpful. We haven't gone through all the points that we needed to, but I thank you all for participating.
No, I was going to make a suggestion. Guidance. We have, if you miss 3 or 4 meetings, you're out. And we not include that if you don't come once a month and have a written excuse of why you didn't make it. Once a month.
You'll be down to 20, you'll be down to 23. Number.
No, I'm saying.
I understand. No, that's a good point. That's a good point, but I'm saying.
In-person once a month. In-person once a month. And if you don't do it for 3 months, you're right.
Yeah.
So you haven't come to a in-person meeting for 3 months.
Yeah.
You're out.
3 months.
You know, the reason
criteria, do we know?
for not attending a meeting are actually
For
spelled out in
smaller
the
price?
Constitution.
I have a thought.
What is that?
Yeah, that's the first thing you need to look at, Darren, is what constitutes disqualification from the club. Because I remember back in my day, at least in 2010 or whatever, when I joined, or 2008, it was like if you missed 3 consecutive meetings, they consider you persona non grata. You were, you disqualified yourself. And there's some people who haven't been to a meeting in a year, in the entire year.
Constitutions. Nobody seems to read it anymore except the president,
All Thank you all. Let's stand. Any fines?
But anyone who actually committed any infractions,
My phone ringing.
Oh,
I wonder why it's still ringing my phone. You should be fine for that.
that's straight up on the fire.
Thanks all for your participation. Standing to the 4-way test. Past President Stephen, this is 4-way test, please. Things we think say or do.
I said, yeah. Say, Is it true?
Is it that all concerned? Will it really?
God willing, by the friendships, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And will it be fun?
Not if you never come to any meeting. Fellow Rotarians, please join me in a toast, Rotary around the world.
Rotary around the world.
Thank you all. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, no problem. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yes, Chantel, I'll try to get in this afternoon and see what the situation is.
Okay, yeah, what I was saying, I don't.